Welcome to the Photo Story 3 tutorial here at Queen's University. My name is Rob Horgan. I'm a TA in the Faculty of Education, and I'm just going to walk you through some of the steps that I took to make my photo story. It's pretty simple to follow through and read the prompts and then just respond accordingly. You'll see the navigation's pretty simple, back and next, and help is always available. Select one of the following options, then click next. Well, I'm going to begin a brand new story. Import and arrange my pictures. So I'm going to import the pictures, I'm going to bring them in. I've saved them on my USB drive so I can go to any of the computers in the computer labs in the Faculty of Education and then just import all my pictures. I can do it one at a time, or by hitting Control and Select I could select multiple pictures at one time. I'm going to select all 7 pictures that I have available. Once it imports them, I'm just going to drag and drop pictures into the order that I would like to have my pictures. I did some thinking about how my photo story was going to look. My photo story project is about Las Vegas and the time that I spent in Las Vegas, and it just gives a quick highlight of what I did there. So I'm going to tell a little bit of a story. I have some photo editing features if I want to make some corrections. I don't want to. I'm just doing a really basic run through of building a photo story project, but if you want to go in and if you want to rotate a picture, you can click on rotate right there. So you don't have to resave pictures. You can do basic editing right in this section. Once I have all my pictures in, I just click on next to move to the next stage, and that's on adding text. So the text that I would like to write, 2006 to 2008 is the time that I spent in Las Vegas, and it's not showing up on here, and I think I know why, because the text is actually black, so I want to change it so it's a contrasting color to make sure that people can read the text as it comes up, and that looks a little bit better. So 2006, 2008. And if I want it to be to the right side, justified to the right, I could do that. I could change it to the left, to the top left. I think I liked it at the bottom middle, and that gives a nice presentation to my slide. It's a good time right now to save my project just to make sure I don't lose any of the work that I've done. Understanding that there's a lot of people working on different photo story projects, I'm going to save my file with my last name, and I'm also going to put my section, primary, junior, and G. That way if I end up losing my file or getting confused with whose file is belonging to which group, then at least this way I can be able to identify it fairly quickly. This section I have the opportunity to narrate, provide a narration, which I'm not going to do right now because I'm talking to you, sharing how I would go about making my presentation, but to do so I would type in notes, so I would script my story right now, just write it out as a reminder, like a prompting of when I want to record. So my time in Las Vegas, 2006 to 2008, and I'm going to go through each one and then add in the text, and then I'm going to go back and do the narration. So with this slide, this is the school I taught at Gilbert Magnet School. And if I went through each one and build my notes there, I have prompting for what I would say when it's time to record. So if I was going back and recording right now, I just click on the record button. This is my photo story about my time in Las Vegas from 2006 to 2008. And then I click on the next one. Once you click on the next one, you can hit record and keep on going. So once you've got all your script for each slide, you can just work pretty quickly through, and you don't need a microphone right up until the time that you are actually ready to record. The microphone I'm using right now is a standard headset microphone. You can buy them for $10 to $15, or you can borrow one, check one out from eServices. They have them available as well. I'm finished with this section, so I'm going to click on Next. Now I can add background music. There's two options. One is to select music, so if you have your own music that you would like to import, you could certainly do so. As long as it's an MP3 or a WAV file, you can open it up and include it. There's copyright issues to be aware of, so just be aware of music that you are bringing in and providing sufficient reference to, and providing credit to those artists that have produced that music. Or if you've created your own music, you can import it through there. Create Music option gives you the chance to select music that's already included in PhotoStory. So I would like to use something piano. Actually, I'm going to go something Appalachia, Guitar Fest, and something cheerful. And I'd like to have a faster tempo and pretty low intensity. And I'm going to demo it right away just to see if this is something I like. Something I like. If I don't like it, I can just select something else. Once I select OK, I'm going to put the volume fairly low because I want it just to act in the background, not to be front and center, so my voice and the narration can be heard over top of that. I'm going to save my project once again just to make sure I don't lose any work. I'm just replacing over the existing project. It's not a problem. And then every once in a while you might want to preview just to see what your file would look like when it's finished. The minimum requirements for the project right now that you're working in your groups is that's 30 seconds to a minute, and I'm right about close to 30 seconds, I believe. I'm looking through all those effects were automatically included for the transitions in between with the dissolves and the wipes, called the Ken Burns effect after Ken Burns. And my last slide is my photo credits, which was a slide that I just made in PowerPoint, and then in the Save As section I can save it as a JPEG image, and that's what I chose to do because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't violating any copyright issues. So for all the slides, here are the credits of where I had retrieved the slides, and that's one way of providing reference. So this looks good. I'm almost done. I have one more step. Clicking on Next, I need to save my story. It's called rendering it as a movie. So I need to render my story as a movie so it could be played in Windows Media Player. And because I've saved my project with my last name, PhotoStory PJ-G, then I know that when I upload my movie up to WebCT, that my instructor will be able to easily identify who produced this, which section, or which section that I'm in, so that they can clearly give me credit for making sure that I've completed the activity. The worst thing you can do is just save your project as PhotoStory, because there will likely be 700 other projects that could potentially have that name. I'm going to be making sure I save this down onto my thumb drive as well, because there's no point saving it on the hard drive. Any of the hard drives that you save on will be immediately deleted, I think, overnight or upon the next reboot. So I'm making sure that I save it onto my USB drive. Clicking Next. Now it's going to go through and it is going to build the story. It's actually starting to do the render where it's mixing the video and the narration and the audio, so everything is in one file. Once you create your movie file, you can't go back and change that movie itself. You can still go back into the PhotoStory project and make changes, but then you have to resave and render your movie once again. So anytime you make changes to your PhotoStory project, you always have to go back to render it as a movie. Otherwise we won't be able to open it up and look at it in Windows Media Player. So as it's mixing, it's going to be finishing it off, then it's going to give me an option. Do I want to view the file? Absolutely, you want to view the file just like you would want to proofread your work before handing it in. So view your story just to see if there's anything that comes up. Make sure everything looks good, and then you're done. Congratulations, you finished your first PhotoStory project.